right, looks like I'm live. Nobody's really here. Let me get this posted on the social medias while we wait for people to show up. Hopefully people do show up. Why is that I told Kevin, hey, how are you? People here already? I got a couple people. Just getting things figured out, trying to figure out why that thumbnail is posting. Should not say Friday. I changed that, didn't I? Thought I did. Let me check something real quick. Content live. Could have sworn. Yeah, could have sworn I changed that. Let me there we go. Save. For those of you that are here, as always, if I sound okay, hit that one in the chat box just to get my social medias all figured out. Okay, good. Good. Ben, I got my 5th payout on Tuesday. Fantastic, Ben. It's great. Big congratulations. Buenos dias, Buenos dias, mi amigo. Joseph, all right, good. I sound good. We've got about 16 people here. As always, this is still a test phase. Last week was the first time I did this. So if you were here last week and you already know you're going to enjoy this, make sure you hit that like button. If you don't, no problem. No need to hit the like button because I realize you don't know if you're going to like this. But yeah, I know I'm a little early here. That's all right. So yes, if you're here, hopefully everybody has their coffee. I got mine right here. Or your drink of choice, whatever that may be. All right, let me make sure I have everything as it should. And then, yeah, we're gonna hop right into things. Tapachi. I don't know what Tapachi is. Is that like a tea or something, maybe? All right, well, as I think will be the case, as was the case last Saturday, I want this to be totally I want this to be totally viewer driven. So this is very laid back. So if you have a stock, a crypto, forex pairing, anything that you're in and you'd like an analysis on, let me know in the chat box. I can do an analysis on it. Right now we don't have a whole lot of people, but if the traffic picks up, then $5 super chats will make sure that I not only see your request, but that I will do it. So you don't have to do a super chat, but if you don't, then you just risk either me not seeing it or getting to it, or maybe I don't get to it until like 30 minutes after you request it. So, but like I said, $5 super chats, make sure that happens right away. So is anybody, figure we'll start off looking here at the Qs as it was very, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so basically a week ago, I think I talked about this. I'm pretty sure that I was, just talking about that pink line right there, 200-day simple moving average when the price dropped back below it. At that point, you would expect that to be looking and acting as resistance. And let's see, when was that? So this was Friday, that was Thursday, that was Wednesday. So on Tuesday, you can see Tuesday was the big day. Tuesday actually did. The price poked its head up above that level. So it became a very valid question to say, okay, are the bulls back? I mean, still work to be done, but the price has technically pushed its head a little bit above that key area of resistance. Are the bulls back? And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we got our answer. And no, the bulls were not back as the price, you can see now has been rejected back down. So the overall trend is still in play. And as I was talking about, yes, all this was good action. And when I say as I was talking about, I mean over the past couple weeks. Yes, there was this nice upwards channel. You can't deny the fact that the price was making an upwards channel. But assuming you care about the big picture point of view, part of that is saying, yeah, fair enough. Past couple weeks, there has been an upwards channel. But what was happening before this upwards channel? And those people would say, well, the price was up here, and then it dropped all the way down there. So in all actuality, it's just been one big bear flag pattern. Now, bear flags don't mean that for sure guaranteed the price is going to go downwards. But it has been a bear flag. And then on Friday is just, you could throw this right into a textbook. You got the breakdown of the bear flag, and now you're getting continuation. So moving into the new week here, it's just the big question of how much continuation are the bears going to get. And the first kind of clue into just how bad this breakdown could get is going to be in regards to this area down here. And that's just simply because that was the previous lows. So if this breaks down through those lows, again, that doesn't guarantee anything. There are no guarantees. But that would bring more plausibility to the fact that, that might be the kind of the domino that really kicks things off and really starts to create that much more of an avalanche to the downside. So, keep an eye on that level there. That's because the breakdown's already happened. So now it's just a question of what kind of potential could this breakdown get in terms of more downside momentum. And the next clue will be, does the price break down through those lows? Hakuna, pick one or the other. I'm happy to do one, but the other one, I also like to limit it to one per person. You can do more, but the more needs to be with the $5 super chat, or else we risk somebody like giving me 15 and then nobody else gets a chance. So do you want IWM or would you like SMH? Again, I'll do both, but one of them would need to be with the super chat. I want to keep this fair to everybody. And again, if you are enjoying this, make sure you hit that like button. Because this Saturday morning coffee thing, still only second one I've done, total experimentation mode. So the way that I can gain feedback through that is through that like button. So make sure you hit it if you are enjoying. Let's take a look over here at SPY. All right, IWM we'll look at for Hakuna. Basically the same exact thing I just talked about. So now this one didn't quite hit the 200 period moving average, but if you think about what's been going on, it's had an upwards channel to it, but part of all of that is, well, what was happening before the upwards channel? And from the big picture, the price was up there, it came down there. So we have ourselves the bear flag, and on Friday, the price did indeed break to the downside. Continuation has showed up. But how bad, how much momentum is going to appear from all this? That is where, like the cues that we just looked at, really just a question of the lows down here. Is the price going to go down to these lows right here? And then will the price break through? Because if the price comes down and breaks through it again, as I've said and we'll say probably a million more times, there are no guarantees. But more than valid to think that if the price comes down here and breaks down through the lows, that could create that much more downside selling pressure, as that would just be... because you got to think a lot of longs probably have stop losses down there. They're thinking, okay, let me play this bounce. I'll put a stop down here. Now, to be fair, though, I'm sure some longs probably were, moving their stop loss. So as it bounced, maybe some longs probably definitely had a stop loss like right there. So not shocking that when that broke, it kind of jolted it down more. But yeah, I'm sure there's still some stop losses hiding around down there. So keep an eye on that. Again, for those of you getting logged on, if you have a request, go ahead, drop it. Could be a stock, could be an ETF, could be crypto, could be futures. Let me know. Now would be the time, because if this gets a lot more crowded, then that's where the $5 super chats will really need to come into play. Because $5 super chats will make sure that I see it and do it. But without the super chat, I can't make any promises. So, like I said, whatever you have, we'll take a look at it. Let's take a look though. Take a look right now at the SPY. Oh, I didn't realize the SPY was a dirty dog. At least the Qs, QQQ, so at least the NASDAQ was pretty much polite. And it was like, no, we're not going to give any false hope. We're going to let you get up to that level. But then after that, we're just smacking the price right back down. So the Qs was polite in that regard. But when you look at the SPY, wow, shattered dreams. Because look at SPY broke above the pink line, acted like it wanted to be strong, started to head back up, suckered in some, actually, that's interesting. It didn't really sucker in that many people because look down here. These couple of days that were above the breakout, volume was actually quite light. So that's actually very, very interesting. So not a whole lot of volume on the breakout. So yeah, there are some longs that got suckered in for sure, but not a whole lot. Not a whole lot at all. Not many people were buying the breakout, which tells me not a whole lot of people were actually convinced that the breakout right there was actually a breakout. So I take back that statement. Yes, I'm sure some got suckered in, but not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. And again, how can I say that not a whole lot of people got suckered in? Well, on that second candle right there, look at the volume. That was the lowest volume that we've had since basically back here in mid-February. So that day right there, when it was looking like it was breaking out, correspond that down to there, not a whole lot of volume. So it makes sense why the price rolled over. Did people know something? Were people just not convinced? Is Trade Ovate down right now? It could be, since it's Saturday. The futures market's closed. Usually this is when they do maintenance, Kelvin. So I don't know if it's down, but if it was, it would not be shocking to me. I can click on mine. Okay, yeah, I'm logged out. But yeah, it might be quote unquote down for maintenance because again, the futures market is closed right now because it's Saturday. Morning, Emmy. But anyways, regardless, this one has rolled back over now, and like a lot of these other ones, as we've been talking about, really just a question of that's going to be the main dynamic heading into this next week for all these overall markets is how does the price react at these lows? Are we going to get maybe... Now, to be fair, it's pretty interesting because do you get some sort of double bottom? So if we just, clump all this together as double bottom number one, or excuse me, as bottom number one, is the price going to come down here, kind of, maybe do multiple ones and then get a bounce back upwards? So are we looking at maybe the beginning of a double bottom formation this upcoming week? Maybe. But point being is that a lot of people across all these markets will be definitely, keep an eye on those. I did not know the future. Yeah, the market, it'll open back up Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. It closes an hour every day. So it closes every day at from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern. So just 1 hour during the day. But then again, on Fridays, it'll close at 5 p.m. And then it's closed all weekend long until excuse me, Sunday at 6 p.m. But yeah, like Tuesday, for example, or Wednesday or Thursday, it'll close at 5 p.m. and then open back up at 6 p.m. But yes, it is definitely closed all day on Saturday. So what is everybody's drink of choice? We got a little bit more people here. I got just black coffee here. I think this is Dunkin' Donuts variety. What is everybody's Saturday morning drink of choice? No request? People don't have any request. I figured out why I'm having trouble. I got too impatient and cocky. I wasn't watching the trend lines, patterns, and general charting. Easy to bet. Yeah, no, I think we've all been there, Emmy. I've been a fool more times than I probably should have within my trading journey. Yes, and impatience, lack of patience, and cockiness does not end well. Hey, Jim, that apple cider is gone already. Gone. It's gone. Not rich enough. Oh, yeah, because you're doing. It's probably Starbucks espresso. No, you're doing Scooters. We have this place in Iowa. I don't know if it's just in Iowa. Called Scooters. You get like 2 ounces. It's like $15. It's ridiculous. It's like, who can afford Scooters? Jim's over there down in a 64-ounce thing from Scooters. Good cup of green liquidity. Is that green tea? Oh, you're in Wyoming? I don't know if I knew that you were in Wyoming, Emmy. I don't know if I ever talked to anybody that's in Wyoming. That's cool. And I did not know that Scooters was in Wyoming. GRRR. Scooters is no good? Wow. That's some fighting words there, boy. It's either Scooters. Yeah. All right, GRRR again. For those of you that are just getting logged on, feel free to drop a request. Could be a stock, could be Forex, could be futures, could be a crypto. We look at it all here because it's all just technical analysis. City Brew Coffee. Not sure I've heard of that one. All right, well, GRRR, just looking here at the daily time frame. The big dynamic to watch moving forward is all eyes on that purple line there. 50-day simple moving average. So far, so good. Respected it there, and now the price is once again getting close to it. So the big question here, at least on the daily time frame, is going to be, will the price once again respect that 50-day simple moving average? When's the last time it was below it? Way back in, late November, last time the price was down below that purple line. So will the price continue to respect it? We'll see what happens. So keep an eye on that. And then, just from pretty much kind of an overall standpoint, that would be the key trend line to watch moving forward. Let's see what this thing looks like down on the 30-minute. See if we can gain any more insight. So, 30 minutes representing more of a, not that the price can't move up, but just looking at areas of resistance here. Basically, three big battlegrounds now that the price is going to have to push through on the 30-minute if there's going to be any sort of bigger upwards movement on the daily. First key battleground, purple line there, 50-period moving average. Second one, that overall trend line that I just drew in. And then the third one, that 200-period moving average. So again, that doesn't mean that the price can't make a big move up. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that if the price is going to make a bigger move up on the daily time frame, it's got a lot of work to do down here on the 30-minute time frame. And then this is kind of spicy. I think this is kind of spicy right here. For those of you that are shorts, I don't know. Let me change that to green right now. If the price comes down there and breaks down through that level, quite a bit. Not saying that if it breaks, it's automatically going straight down to there. All I'm saying is there's not a whole lot of suggested areas of support until the price is down around that area there. So, excuse me. So, could make a move down there on the short side of things. Raymond, why'd you delete your message? Didn't you request, I can't remember what you requested. Kelvin, man, dude. Okay, honest question for you, Kelvin, because you did this on Friday. So now I'm really wondering, are you like listening to me, then you disappear, and then you come back and you listen some more, and then you disappear? Because yesterday, I like several times, I mapped out like what my moving averages were, and then you're like, hey, what's your moving averages? And just now, you're like, when will the futures market open back up? Like I literally just spent like 5 minutes ago explaining, okay, you are coming back and going. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so I'm going to do the quicker explanation this time. If you want to go back and get the in-depth one, you'll just have to watch this in the archive. It closes Friday at 5 p.m. and it'll open back up Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. But during the day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it closes at 5 p.m. Eastern, but it opens right back up at 6 p.m. Eastern. So it closes for 1 hour during the week. But on Friday, it'll close at 5 p.m. Eastern, and then it opens back up Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, don't be shy, Raymond. You don't gotta delete anything. Mark, AVGO. I own AVGO in my long-term portfolio, so I hope it's had a great week. It has not had a great week. That's all right. Just stay in business for that. Just pay me my dividend, AVGO. Be around 40 years from now, and I'll be a happy camper. This is one. When did I first buy this one? I can't remember. Was it back in? It was like somewhere down around here. And I mean, I'm talking in hindsight, but like I'm still up a whole lot on this one. But I wish I would have bought more when I did get into it. But yeah, right now AVGO. What's NVIDIA? What's the term for NVIDIA? What kind of company is NVIDIA? Why can't it? Microchip company? What are those? What's that called? NVIDIA is what? Because of the chips, right? A chip company. Is that the right lingo? Semiconductor. Thank you. Semiconductor. Yes. So yes, AVGO is a semiconductor company. And Yeah, unfortunately. I say unfortunately because, like I said, I'm long on this one long term. I don't really care, though, because, hey, I'll check back in 40 years. But as of right now, that pink line there was doing a good job of holding strong for a while. But in all actuality, we just had a classic technical pattern play out. So if we use this pink line here as kind of our bottom trend line, and we have this area right here kind of flat across the top, and then if we factor in what was going on before all this, well, the price was up there, and then it came down here. I'll extend this over here a little bit more. And then for you golfers, make it more visual. Let me put the golf hole up here. So it's an upside down pennant pattern, which is a bear pennant. So then right down here, you can see that eventually it just, the bear pennant, like I said, does it happen every time? No guarantees, but just a bear pennant breakdown. And then the past few days have been just even more continuation. So on that note, not a whole lot. If there is any sort of attempted bounce on the daily time frame, key area of resistance is going to be right up there, that pink line there. And that's just based on the foundational rule that when levels of support are broken, they tend to act as resistance. So moving forward, that 180, we'll just call it 183. 183 will be the key level of resistance. We'll drop down 30-minute. Again, if you have a request, drop it in the chat box. $5 super chats. Make sure I'll do the request, and I will do it right away. That way you don't have to sit around and wait to see if I ever get to yours. But if you don't want to do super chat, that's fine too. And if you are enjoying, remember, hit that like button. I'm looking for feedback on these Saturday morning coffee ones, see if I want to keep doing this or not. I think last week we got up to like 50 likes, so maybe we should make that the goal. We'll see. We'll see. Still got to try to figure out the time too, but 30-minute here on AVGO. All right, so that's interesting. That trend line did get was broken late day here on Friday. Did happen on nice solid volume. So is this the start of a bigger move up? No idea, but it's a valid question to be thrown out there. And that's always an exciting question to ask. Is this the start of something bigger? Because think about that question. It makes no sense to ask that question if nothing big is even happening, or if nothing worthwhile is even happening. You can't say, is this the start? Is what the start? Nothing even happened. But in this situation, something did happen. It did break out. So yeah, is this the start of something bigger? We'll have to see. So yeah, I would say that's the most interesting dynamic on the chart. Daily, we're not getting a whole lot other than the fact that it just has gotten hammered. But 30-minute, yeah, trend line break. Is this the start of a bigger move up? We'll have to see what happens. Where GDX, isn't that a gold ETF if I remember right? Yeah. Oh, gold miners. All right, let's start here on the daily. Yeah, gold's just been in a beast mode right now. But yeah, this candle here does suggest the pullback is coming. Now remember, pullback is not the same as a reversal or crash. But I could see this needing to come down some more. Preferably speaking in terms of, hey, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest? If the price could say about 43.75, that would actually be very, very impressive. Because, if the price were to... Just a minute. Let me change this real quick. I'm getting distracted. There we go. If the price were to come down here and behave like this, think about it. You'd have a nice set of lows right here, which compare to that set, which compare to that set, and then of course even these ones here. But even just these ones, you'd still have stair-steps very, very aggressively going in the upwards direction. With all that being said, if the price falls below 43.75, that doesn't mean that the game's over or anything like that. You still have the purple line there, 50-period moving average. So as that line moves higher and higher, as long as the price stays above there, that's the name of the game. Hey, good morning, Andrew. But yes, I would say that next week, this candle here is certainly suggesting somewhat of a pullback. So I wouldn't be shocked at all to see 43.75 get tested. 30-minute. All right, so we have the purple line here, 50-period moving average. Very, very well respected. Let's just go through the history of it. We have it acting as just joined and new to your streams, but have studied your content before. Great. Thanks for these. Have you gone over the NASDAQ? I have, actually. Salem's father. At the QQQ was the first chart I did. So the good news is that if you just go back and watch the archive of the stream, it'll be like the first chart I cover. But hopefully you still decide to stick around. But yes, I did cover it. So anyways, back to the purple line here. You can see right there, again, purple line being the 50-period moving average, was acting as resistance. When the price got above it, you would expect it to see it act as support. And that's exactly what happened there and there. And now the price is once getting close to it. So yeah, on the 30-minute time frame, that's, I think, the big question right there. Is the price going to be able to hold above it if it gets tested? I think it'll get tested just based off of, the daily time frame. And, this is the formation of the daily. So it started off very strong on Friday, got all the way up there, and then spent the rest of the time bleeding. And then in the very near term, and why I would say that probably more of a pullback, just right here, there's a little miniature bear pennant pattern. Again, no guarantees, but would I be shocked? Would anybody be shocked that uses charts if this were to pull back some more? No, they'd be like, oh no, that was just a textbook bear pennant breakdown. So, yeah, look at, so this is the hourly. Each one of these represents one. Each one of these being candlesticks represents 1 hour. So price came up and then boom, that first hour, pretty brutal, pretty brutal. What was the 50-period? Okay, so on the 50-period purple line on the hourly is at 45. Where was it on the? Okay, yeah, so only about a 33-cent difference. So again, looking here on the hourly time frame, take note, 50-period is at 45, 30-minute, 50-period is at 45.33. So yeah, that general area could be quite interesting. Let's see. Again, I'm just going through the order of the chat box. So for those of you that are logged on, if you want me to get to yours right away, the $5 super chat makes that happen. If you want to wait and just take the risk that I maybe never get to it, that's fine too. But that's why would I do a $5 super chat? That's why. I'll do it right away, and I will do it. I'm in ASPB, old IPO. I believe once the tariff drama normalizes, it'll move. But no no volume is always. Is this a penny stock or something? When I hear no volume, my PTSD goes to like penny stock world. ASPB. No, not a penny stock. Oh, there's a little bit of volume. So immediately what I see on this one, well, it's right here at the 200. But I mean, just from a technical standpoint, we're not here to talk fundamentals. We have that as an area of support. And then we have this upwards channel right here. Maybe everybody sees where I'm going with this. Let me just do this to keep it one color. So we have our support. We have our resistance, but the price was up here at one point before coming back down. So pretty much just one big bear flag pattern. But to be fair, just because it's bearish, that doesn't mean it's going down. And to be fair, so far so good. Price is holding above this lower trend line right here. But yeah, if the price were to break down below there, again, no guarantees. But from a technical standpoint, it would not be shocking that if the price were to break this lower trend line, that would generate more downside selling pressure. Wait, you did not ask about ASPI. You asked about ASPB. I've been doing. What happened? ASPB. There is no data. Is that? Please don't tell me that was a typo. And then I'm sitting here doing the wrong thing. ASPB. No, that's definitely what you wrote. ASPB. I think that must be a typo because there is no ASPB. Maybe you did mean ASPI. I hope, because I just spent some time. So for any of you that care about ASPI, there you go. ASPI is a bear flag. I'm not going to go any further than that because there we go. So a little bonus one. ASPI, never heard of it. Don't know what they do. What's going to happen with KULR? Oh, man. Let me grab my crystal ball. Oh, well, I do know what's going to happen with KULR. It's either going to go up, it's going to go down, or it's going to go sideways. That's what's going to happen with it. I'll get rid of these lines. So, yeah. Well, and why does this guy keep talking about the purple line? Because the markets, they care about them. They care about these levels right here. Most recent example. Check it out. Bounce. Oh, look, what a coincidence. Right where it got smacked right back down. That 50-period moving average. So right away on the daily time frame, $1.81, that current key level of resistance. So keep an eye on that. And then it just dawned on me. I saw you here, Dan. Last week you were like, man, that's hard for us West Coast people. So Dan, you were up dedicated. Because if you're on the West Coast, it's about, I guess it's not terribly early, 7:20, but good to have you here, Dan. I'm trying to debate. Do I want to bring that up? But I mean, it's there. It's there. So if we just use this as kind of, no, let's not. Let's not get too fancy. Okay, if I just use that, and I use kind of that roughly. I'm trying to fit a square peg through round. Is there some sort of like bull flag, bull pennant here? Kinda. I don't know. I'll let you to decide if you think I'm trying to fit a square peg through a round hole. Point here is that there was a move up, and now it is pulling back with some consolidation. So very broadly speaking, I suppose somewhat of a bull flag here. But as already talked about, that purple line there has been quite the problem point for it. If it does pull back some more, then yeah, these lows, 200-period moving average, I could see being realistic. What's the 30-minute have to say? Ooh, 30-minute, sketchy, just peeking its head down below the 200-period. Is this the start of more bloodshed to come, more downside momentum on Monday next week? We'll see. But it's there. It's down below. Grab your popcorn. If you're enjoying, hit that like button. Let's see. Oh yeah, now people are telling me that was oops ASPB. Yeah, I know. At least Webull, it does not have ASP. Oh wait, there it is right there. Well, I just did ASPI for you. Come on, man. Again, if you got a request, throw it in the chat box. ASPB. All right, I like ME, so we'll do ASPB. He'll get 2. No, this can't be it. No, this isn't what you meant, ME, is it? No, this is a disgusting chart. What is this? Please tell me you didn't buy up here. Or here. Or here. What entry point did you get? It opened at 9, so does that mean you bought at 9? So basically up around here somewhere. Oh, yeah, I know. Okay, we gotta... Oh, goodness. You bought at 57? Oh, all right. Well, good. That's good. That makes me feel a lot better that you got in at 57. Yeah, I mean, on the daily, you can at least start to make an argument that maybe this thing's bottoming out because at least it's going sideways here. Now, just because something's going sideways does not mean for sure guaranteed it is the bottom, but you can make a plausible argument. Like I hear and I see your logic of why this could be the bottom. As opposed to, let's say the chart was still looking like this, and they're like, hey, this looks like the bottom. I'd probably push back a little bit, like, yeah, based on what the price is literally still just bleeding. But at least it's going sideways here. So again, that doesn't guarantee that it's a bottom, but it makes it plausible to suggest. So that is why this is an important area. Right down here at, we'll call it 53. Just no fancy reason other than, well, if this is the bottom, well, then it needs to stop putting in new lows. So what would a new low be? Well, a new low would be a breakdown through there. So if you want to make the case, this could be the bottom. Well, as long as it keeps going sideways, and again, sideways being defined as not putting in new lows, and a new low being defined as not going down below 53, then you can make that case. And then there does seem to be a little bit of a selling pressure right up there around the 76-cent mark. So yeah, that's it's just kind of sideways right now. I think you mentioned, if I remember, there's some sort of news or something that's supposed to happen. You said something from a fundamental aspect. So yeah, to be fair to you, whatever that, I don't remember what it was, but yeah, maybe the price is just waiting to see what happens with whatever that fundamental event is, because it is definitely going sideways. I don't think the 30 minutes going to be worth it because it's going to be way too choppy. Yeah, not a whole lot you can do with so this is definitely nothing that can be day traded or should be day traded. So yeah, we'll just leave that one on the daily. Oh, GME. Where is JDA at? Again, if you're enjoying this, make sure you hit that like button. I actually did this one in yesterday's top 10 analysis, so I'm going to go through this one a little bit quicker. So that's where all these lines are. But yeah, GME right now just has that downtrending trend line, so that's the key battleground in the very near term. Pretty well defined, though. And, even if you just want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, I think it's reasonable to think that if the price could curl back upwards and get a break up through there, again, not guaranteed, but reasonable that a break right there could create upside buying pressure, because that's a pretty clean trend line that can be drawn, and GME is still borderline a cult stock. So you got to think there's still a lot of people watching it and looking for any excuse at all to buy. So keep an eye on that. Freedom, Alberta. Good morning, Clay. What are you trading? I'm not trading anything right now. I'm just doing analysis. But what I do trade are futures. But yeah, right now I'm just taking requests. But I'm not making any trades or anything like that. Just taking requests from the viewers. But when I am trading, I'm trading futures. And then as far as the key support, 21.15, that'll be the main level to watch. Nothing fancier than the fact that that's just where the bleeding stopped back on Thursday. Poor JDA. JDA was, he's kind of becoming a regular. He showed up on this day, kind of puffing his feathers out a little bit. This thing's going to 500. Let's go. It's going to 500. Like I said, he wasn't, He was confident, and I get it. I can see why you'd be feeling confident on a day like this. GME's going to 500, and then just the irony. The next day, whoosh. That's why you got to stay away from the Kool-Aid. You got to stay away from that Kool-Aid. I believe they call this a dumpster fire. Yeah, that one was a rough one. But at least ME got in at 57 cents, so that is good. Corbin, did someone tell Clay the market is closed on Saturdays? Wait, it is? I was wondering why these charts weren't moving. Oh, that's what's going on. But, just... Oh, this market is open, though, Corbin. So, technically speaking, the markets are open. So, right here, got ourselves some... Oh... Come on, Bitcoin. You going to hold above that pink line? But yes, no. I am aware that all the other markets are closed other than crypto. But, yeah, no, I'm trying a new session here on Saturdays. Did it last Saturday. Just taking requests. But yes. But Bitcoin is open. Look at that nice little bounce there. What's a 5 minute look? Oh, is a 5 minute going to roll? Oh, so the 5 minute just broke down through this area of support right here. So is it going to get continuation? That's the question mark right now on Bitcoin. Broke down through this former kind of basically breakout point, resistance, broke out, went to acting as support, now back down below it, once again acting as resistance. So are we going to get movement to the downside? We'll see what happens. So if you're a Bitcoin trader, I don't know. And you told me that you were getting short or you were already short a little bit. I see what you're saying. I don't know if it's going to work, but I would not accuse you of operating with no logic. TDTH price action. Incredible. Okay. Well, let's go take a look at this incredible chart. Clay, do you watch daily news before trading? No, no, but I am aware of daily news, which is why the so you just earned yourself a homework assignment. I got to just find your homework assignment first. Oh. Econ calendar. There we go. So several of them I've done, but here we go. Jalil, you got yourself some Saturday homework. You need to go and watch that. That's the extent that I care about the news right there. When we're headed to do TDTH. Again, if you're enjoying, make sure you hit that like button. It'd be cool to get this up to 50 likes. I'd consider that a successful stream on a Saturday morning. Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, this is what we call a train wreck. What do they do? Is this a biotech? TDTH? Oh no, NASDAQ company? Yeah, well. Well, yeah. This is totally falling knife mode right now. I don't think the 30 minutes going to be much help because we're at lows. Okay, I'll take that back. I think. Again, you are more than welcome to accuse me of fitting a square peg through a round hole. No, that's kind of a poor man's. I'm trying to think, do we have some sort of falling wedge here? And maybe, I don't know if we have a... No, you can't. Yeah, maybe, like I said, maybe there's a falling wedge in here somewhere. But again, I concede if you would like, dude, I think you're fitting a square peg through a round hole, I would not push back. So is that the falling wedge? So just the one dynamic here that I'm trying to illustrate is the one point of interest is right here. Clearly a huge amount of magnitude. Whoops, that was supposed to be a square. This was a huge amount of magnitude down. So we just look at the size of that white box. And then this one from the open basically to the lows was right there. So obviously, well, hopefully it's obvious, this box is a whole lot smaller than that box. So the magnitude down was much less. And that's what that lower trend line is representing. Yeah, it did put in a new low, but it's not like it totally plummeted. So is the selling pressure alleviating? Is there going to be some sort of, attempted pushback in the upwards direction next week? We'll see. But and then the other thing to keep in mind is volume did drop down significantly. So are all the sellers out now here? Was this where all the sellers and selling, majority of it took place? And I say majority of it because, yes, of course, more selling took place on Friday because the price did still continue to drop. But with the volume bars being much less, you could say less volume. Casey, hey, good morning. Again, I am taking requests. Are there any other requests out there to take? Or is everyone actually interested out? Yep, that's true too. Have people moved to other things? Let's take a look at the NQ for us future folk on the daily. Okay, so this is pretty much this. Let's just start afresh here. This is pretty much the same as what I talked about on the QQQ. What was that person's name? I don't know if they're still here. Salem's father. I don't know if Salem's father's here. So this isn't necessarily the Qs, but yeah. So as I was talking about earlier, we did have the nice upwards movement. You had to give credit where credit's due. There was a general upwards channel, but as somebody that if you care about the bigger picture, you'd have to acknowledge, yeah, but what was happening before this upwards channel? The price was up here and it dropped all the way down there, which gave us that bear flag pattern. And then Friday was just the day where the bear flag finally gave out, and boy, did it give out. Now, going into next week, the question on my mind as an NQ trader, and I think a lot of other NQ traders, is okay, yeah, it got a breakdown, but is there more continuation? Do we have any sort of clue as to whether there will be more continuation or not? In my opinion, and what I'll personally be watching, I mean, obviously people can disagree, no problem there, but I think a lot of people will be watching, and it's nothing fancy, it's just they're going to be watching these previous lows. And the logic goes, well, if the price comes down there and pushes down through, well, I think this bear flag breakdown is going to get that much more continuation. But if the price comes down here and kind of bounces around, now you got to start to put on the table, okay, is this going to be some sort of double bottom? If we have bottom number 1 there too, could this be the second bottom and then you get another bounce back upwards? So it is totally valid that maybe there's going to be some sort of double bottom start to take shape next week. But nonetheless, I think most people, you have to concede at this point, the bear flag has been broken to the downside. I don't think anybody's going to push back against that. It has been broken. So that question is now off the table. Will the bear flag get a breakdown? Yes, it did. Yes, it got continuation on the day. But will it get more overall continuation? We'll have to see. So that's going to be one of these levels that, call it self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. You got to think everybody and their brother's uncle is going to be watching that level right there, 19,140. Hey, Bull Trader, thank you for that. What did Bull? Very nice of you, because I actually did the analysis, and then you gave me the super chat where you could have gotten away scot-free. Very kind on your part. Yes, just email me, and I'll send you so you can watch it at your convenience. Clay@claytrader.com. Same to everybody else. If anybody else has a question or whatever, my email is always open. Let's see. So yeah, that's the. Oh, I did want to look at the 30-minute NQ. Oh boy. I mean, just such a powerful. That might be worth it. What about the what's? Oh, look at that. 5-minute matching up perfectly with that purple line right there. So yeah, for the day traders out there, I'd keep it on that purple line right there because that also happens to be this key trend. Actually, 5-minute, I can move this down a little bit more. There we go. So this and that's why I like how trend lines on Webull, they go to all the time frames, because I drew this based on the 30-minute, and then we drop down to take a look at the 5 for us day traders, and boom, right there. So that'd be a nice kind of alignment point. Got to think that could. Now, of course, I'm not saying this level can't be broken as resistance, but I'm just saying I would not call you crazy if you were to build a trade plan based around that area right there. Again, if you are enjoying, hit that like button. I'd love to see this get up over 50 likes. That'd be great. When there is such a huge PA like Friday, such a huge is PA price action. I think when there is such huge, I don't think you needed the A in that sentence. Assuming PA means price action, when there is such. Oh, look at Jim. Does that even get me a cup of scooters, Jim? Or is that just like is that like a sip? Hey, in the future, just pay me in ginger beer. Because YouTube, you just gave Google, like, I don't even know what they take of that. Yeah, 2 sips. Next time, just pay me in case of ginger beer. By the way, has anybody ever had ginger beer? Do you have a link to post that stuff? It's so good. No, don't post a link. Then we're gonna be getting links all over the place, all sorts of random stuff. But thank you, Jim. Did you have a request, Jim? I will do a request. So I think Casey. Okay, yes, Casey didn't mean that. So when there is such huge price action like Friday, is it a good idea to keep in mind the expected wave and the ATR? Yeah, I know a lot of people use ATR. I don't use ATR. I just use the y-axis of the chart. And if you look over at the y-axis of the chart, so just back to like, I don't know, when do we learn about charts? Like we have the x-axis here, right? That's the x. And then this is the y-axis. Well, over here, on whatever you're trading is the y-axis. So sometimes this distance here, on futures might be like, I don't know, 5 points. It's like, okay. So on that day, if that distance is 5 points, right away, boom, I know. Yeah, it's not a very volatile day. But on some days, that same exact distance on the y-axis, that same exact distance might be 10 points. So at that point, you know that, okay, yeah, it's a little bit more of a volatile day. Some days, which was, yesterday, that distance right there could be 20 or greater points. And when you're seeing, the Y, again, same distance that same distance at some points is 5, but you see that up at like 20 or more, you're like, okay, today is a very, very, very volatile day. So that is, that's how I kind of gauge the, the range and everything like that. But yes, there's nothing wrong with the ATR. I don't know what you said, something about a wave or something like that. Expected wave. I don't know what an expected wave is. I've never heard of that. I know I've heard of the ATR, which is average true range, if I'm thinking right. But so that's how I do it though. What did you ask about? Again, we're getting more viewers. If you want, drop a request. Could be a stock, could be a crypto, could be futures, could be whatever you want. Drop a request. $5 super chats though. Make sure that I'll get to it, and I'll get to it right away. If not, I just go through the list. So, like I said, you don't have to do a super chat. You're just risking me either not getting to it, or I don't get to it until like 20 minutes after you request it. But at the super chat, make sure I get to it right away. But if you are enjoying, make sure you hit the like button. We're almost at 50 likes. This is great. Let's see. Yeah, where is the VIX at? So VIX must have risen because we have been falling. So fear is going up. Yeah, there we go. Boom. So the fear gauge, for those of you that do not know what the VIX is, when there is a lot of fear in the market, it goes up. When not a whole lot of fear, or when fear is dropping, it goes down. So big sell-off on Friday. That would make sense why there is this big old upwards move right here. And, I mean, does the VIX follow charts? I mean, it does to an extent, yeah. I mean, I could be like, look at that. It bounced right off the 200 period. I mean, that's true, but that's also a little bit of confirmation bias because you can look back here and, I mean, yeah, it respected it kind of, but right here didn't respect it, didn't respect it, didn't respect it. I mean, it's respected it to an extent as resistance. But, yeah, I don't use the VIX a whole lot. Again, I don't need to know the volatility of the market. I don't really need to know the fear of the market because if markets are collapsing and going down, and maybe this is wrong logic on my part, but I just assume that there's a lot of fear out there. That's why markets are going down. And if markets are kind of going up, yeah, people aren't scared. People are feeling good. But when people are feeling good, they're not scared. That's where volatility does tend to drop. But yeah, when the VIX rises, that also means volatility rises because volatility comes with fear, comes with drama, comes with all those emotions. So, yeah. And it's always such a catch-22 for us as day traders, right? I mean, I'll just use the Q. Like right here, I mean, this is, especially in the world of futures. The world of futures, this right here has just been absolutely amazing. Truly amazing. Even some of this right here. But then when this, earlier on in the week, which makes doesn't make perfect sense. Let's go back to the VIX to see if it makes perfect sense. It does make perfect sense. So Monday, Tuesday, and even Wednesday to an extent but definitely Monday and Tuesday. It was kind of sketchy. I don't know if Dan's still here. Or once could actually track the range on a spreadsheet. That's true too, Dan. But like Dan, I think we'd be in a, and I reference Dan because I would call Dan a mentor to me in futures trading. So he once started out as a student way back when, like over 10 years ago. But he's way ahead of me in futures, way better. So I consider Dan a mentor to me. So the student has now become the mentor with futures trading. So that's why I'm asking Dan. But I think Dan would agree with me that Monday and Tuesday in the futures world, it was kind of not the action we were used to. But that makes sense looking at the VIX because look at Monday and Tuesday. Especially Monday. Big old drop in fear. People were not feeling scared at all. As this went down, that means fear was going down. And then you look on Tuesday, which for me at least was still... Now, I'm not saying there weren't any profitable opportunities. I'm just saying the action was not as volatile as it once was. So then right there, yeah, a little sketchy. But Wednesday, yeah, things started to pick back up a little bit. I think it was still sketchy for me a tad. But yeah, Friday was fantastic. So Dan, is that you're agreeing with me that the futures on Monday and Tuesday were not the most agreed? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I really, I've never had ginger beer before, and I realize I'm behind the conversation, but like I said, I'm literally taking it one message at a time. So the $5 super chats, bring the message immediately to my attention if your time is pressing. Yeah, ginger beer is very good. Ginger beer with bourbon. That makes, yep, exactly. Decline. Do you ever use market order on Tradovate? Yeah, I'll do market orders every now and then. I prefer to try to buy in the bid or sell in the offer. But I'll also sometimes just do that gray button that's a market sell that just gets you out of everything, cancels everything. So yeah, I'm not opposed to market orders. Hey, we are at 50 likes. Nice. Very good. And not even an hour in. I'll take that. I'll take getting up to 50 likes on a Saturday morning. Again, if you are enjoying, hit that like button. Drop a request. I'll do stocks. I'll do options. I'll do crypto. I'll do Forex. I'll do futures. An expected wave is remembering previous price action that fits the same structure visually, and if it is an exhaustive move to consolidation or how much more the price can move before. Casey, you are way smarter than me. I got to keep it simpler than that. Expected wave. If expected waves work for you, fantastic. That's awesome. But my brain is not capable. That's straight up. That's rocket science as far as my brain is concerned. Could you do an AVGO chart? Actually, Joshua, I already did. So if you watch this in the archive, you will see I already did an AVGO analysis earlier on. So let's see, we're at the so it's probably around like the 30-minute mark. So when this posts to the archive, if you just scroll to the 30-minute mark, you will see the analysis at that point that I did on AVGO. What's the YM up to? YM is just the Dow Jones 500. Ooh. Dow Jones 500 in the world of futures. So futures, they just mimic certain things. You could trade futures that care about gold. You could trade futures that care about coffee bean prices. You could trade futures that care about Bitcoin. You could trade futures that care about the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and that's what the YM here is representing. Again, and just looking, I think, Andrew, if I remembered, you already... So one request. If you want to do multiple one, that's fine, but the multiple ones will need to be with the $5 super chat because I want to try to keep it fair to everybody where one person doesn't dominate by like, can you do this one and then this one and then this one? And it's like, okay, then nobody else gets a chance. So, yes, you get one, but after that, like I said, just to keep it open to other people, any above one will require that $5 super chat. But yeah, the YM. I can't remember. What did that... So I'm trying to think. Did any of them get really nasty? Okay, this one didn't. And nasty in the sense of suckering people in. To the ES? Okay, none of them. I was wondering, because remember, the SPY we were talking about, SPY got pretty nasty. Broke above the 200 period, so acted like it wanted to break out and then rolled back over. But at least none of these other ones did that in the futures world. Where it was like looking like the SPY wanted to break out and then rolled back over. Just a purely savage move. Crazy savage. How did crude do? Let's take a look at crude. CL. All right, let's get rid of these. So on the daily, crude is definitely bouncing nicely here. I'm not convinced of anything per se. Let's get this drawn into play here. So crude, we have that area of support. That's fine. That's great. But then at the same time, we have give or take. I don't even know if you need a trend line. You could probably just use these moving averages if you really wanted to. So yeah, right now the price is trending up. To acknowledge in the near term, there you got the upwards price movement. You have some problems right there. But if you are somebody that's caring about more so just the overall pattern of things, well, where was the price at before all this? It was up here and it's moved all the way down here. And if you golfers, let me put the golfle up here. So we have ourselves the upside down pennant pattern, which is a bear pennant. That's not to say that this is breaking to the downside, but I am still skeptical of any bullishness here in crude just because of the overall pattern. Like I said, there's no guarantees, but would I be shocked? Would anybody really be shocked if all of a sudden the price pulled back some more? I mean, is it shocking that the price had this red candle show up? No, not really when you consider that it's up near this area of resistance, the moving averages anyways. So does it go back down there and then potentially break down through there? I can see that as a very plausible scenario, but again, to be fair, just because something's a bullish pattern does not mean the price is going to go up. Just because something's a bearish pattern does not mean the price is going to go down. What's this looking like on the hourly? Hourly. Yeah, that was an interesting, pretty big hammer candle right there, but starting to erode back away. Yeah, I don't know. Curious to see if it can break down through those lows. If it can, again, no guarantees, but I don't see why at that point, especially when I think these two things map out. Let's see. So I'm looking at the low over here. If I put that right there, does that match up with the 200 period? Yeah, pretty close to that 200 period. So we have the lows from right there. Or is that behind my ugly mug? Nope, you can barely see it. And then we have the 200 period right there, that pink line. So this 68.50 mark, excuse me, definitely very, very important. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself because as of right now, the price hasn't even pushed down through that low right there. But a break of that low, I could see very realistically creating a movement down to at least test the 68.50 mark on crude. I don't know if the 30-minute will shed much more insight into things. I would say the 30-minute, I think the best thing that it's showing us here is that this pink line 200 period moving average is definitely now kind of the key area of resistance. So any sort of bounces back upwards, I would be skeptical until the price can prove itself. How am I defining quote unquote prove itself? By being able to get above and stay above that pink line right there. Can we trade futures now? Nope. Futures are closed on Saturdays. They will open back up Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Looking at... yeah, you're welcome, KC. And then I think gold is just... Sultan. Hi, Clay. To grow a small account, what market would trade? And if futures, which ticker? Very good question, Sultan. I would trade, well, two steps. Because you have a small account, so you don't have a lot of money to risk, right? I'll just ask you. So how much money do you have? How much are you starting with? So you want to grow a small account. Fair enough. Which market? It would be futures. But I want to, how much do you have? Don't lie. I'm not going to judge you. We all start off. We all got to start with something. The fact that you even have money to trade with, that's great. That means you've saved. That means you've chosen to try to grow that, which is fantastic. So no need to over-exaggerate because that's not going to do yourself any favors. What to trade on Saturday and Sunday? Go outside. Trade some time for some outdoor. Go hang out with some friends. Go hang out with your family. Go... Just step away. Step away. You don't need to be trading 24/7. That sounds like a miserable lifestyle. Go outside. I mean, we should be trading to free up time. But if you already have time, maybe do some studying. I don't know where you're at in your journey. But if you like, no, I already got a strategy. I'm already good. Well, then just go outside. Go outside. Get away. But not until the live stream's done. Stay inside with me until I'm done with this. But then you can go outside. 3,000. Okay. So Sultan, first off, congratulations having 3,000. Amazing. So the one reason why I would say that you would want to, let me just show you Pam's plant real quick, so I can just walk you through a couple of the key points that would pertain to you and maybe other people here. Where is my? There we go. So the first thing here, Sultan, is you have 3,000. So in the world of stock and options, that rules it out because if you have less than 25,000, you're going to be falling under that pattern day trader rule, which just means you're not allowed to day trade as much as you want. So it is going to be hard to grow a smaller account when you cannot day trade as much as you want. So that's where this comes into play. In the world of futures of Pam's plant, there is no pattern day trader rule, so you can trade as much as you want. So that's going to be a key dynamic in and of itself. The other thing is the movement. You're going to get great movement in the world of futures, and you're going to have a very solid ability to control it. So that's going to be very, very important to you. And then the other thing here, and this is why I would say you want to trade futures, yes, but you want to use it through a prop firm. So, and also, Sultan, what country are you in? Because I don't want to lead you down the stray path here, but you'd want to use a prop firm. Why would you want to use a prop firm? Well, the first reason is there's low capital required, but on top of that, you have added risk control, which comes in two ways, both with the rules, but for you as somebody with a smaller account, this is going to be very, very critical, the ability to protect your capital, protect that money. So What do I mean by all that? Let's just actually now show it through the prop firm that I use. Okay, you're in the USA, perfect. So this is completely valid to you because they're not open to all countries. So what you would do, and this is if you want to support the stream and get this discount here that's going on right now, 30% off, just use the link that's pinned in that comment. But you would go and you would want to do a prop firm. So let's just say, and what you do with a prop firm is you choose purchasing power. So let's say you want 50,000 of purchasing power. That is going to cost you of your 3,000. So 3,000 is what you have. That's going to cost you 119. So minus 119. So now of your own money, you still have $2,881 left. Okay, if you're doing a prop firm. Now the way a prop firm works is you have to first prove yourself as a trader. The goal is for this, to get from the test phase into the pro accounts, because the pro accounts is where when you begin to make money, you are able to keep the money. So in the pro account, you would keep 80% of whatever you make. In the pro plus, you would keep 90%. But as right now, the goal for you with a smaller account is going to be to get from the test into the pro, okay? So in order to do that, well, what's the test? Very good question. So for the 50,000 account, the test is you need to be able to make 3,000, but you're not allowed to lose 2,000. And this is where it goes back to the whole idea of risk control with rules. And this is good. As somebody that's new, you want to have these rules imposed on you because these rules are forcing you to learn to think about risk, to control risk, to consider risk. That's all the most important things as traders. And you're being forced to think about those things. That is a very good thing. But then the other part of the added risk control, again, we were talking about the A here, added risk control, just talked about the benefits of those rules, but the ability to protect your money is that let's just say you go and you do something really stupid. And we all do stupid things as traders. You lose your mind, you go on tilt, you revenge trade, you force trades, or maybe you just get stuck in a crazy move. And it's like, whoa, 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 where did that come from? If you're using that $3,000 of your own money, then anything that happens where you lose your mind or get stuck in a spike, that's all of your money that is being lost. But in the prop firm world, let's say one of those movements, you end up losing $2,000. Well, you have now failed the test. Now you can always try again, but you have failed the test. But did you actually lose $2,000 of that $3,000? No, you didn't. You only lost what was the cost of the account, which we already calculated was at $119. So in that situation, instead of having $3,000 because you're using your own money, and then you do that really dumb thing and it costs you $2,000 and you only have $1,000 left. Well, in this situation, you had $3,000, you paid the $119, and then for whatever reason, you quote unquote blew up the account. Well, you still have $2,881 left where you could go and you could try again. And with the way this works is you would reset for only $100 this time. So now you have minus 100. So there you go. You have 2,781 of your money still left. So now you can try again to get into the pro account. And then once you get into the pro account, there are no more monthly fees. There's nothing like that. And any money you start to make there, you can make a whole lot. We, a couple weeks ago, in fact, I just did a video on it. If people want to see kind of, because this is actually a very good video, one that if you really don't understand prop firms a whole lot, then this is one video that I did using actual results. So right here, I'll put that as a link in the chat box. So make sure you check that out. But in this video, in a nutshell, we had a member of the community. He went and he bought. And I'm just going to say, let's just say this was you, Sultan, at some point. So, so he went and he bought two 50,000 accounts. Because that's the other thing with prop firms. You can get multiple accounts. You can get up to 5. So he did two of these $50,000 ones. So his cost was $119, but he had two of them times 2. So he passed the test on them. He got to the pro accounts, and then he made $4,000. But at that point, something happened in his pro accounts, and then he lost the $2,000, which means they took his pro accounts away from him. Again, you can always get those back by going through the journey again. But before he lost the $2,000, before they took him away from him, he had gotten $2,000 in payouts, or excuse me, $4,000 in payouts. So on that note, he spent a total of $238 to make $4,000. So hopefully you see why I would argue not only should you be doing futures because of the no pattern day trader rule, those other things, but when it's a prop firm, you can just manage your risk so much better. You have that many more whoops, that was dumb type moments. Because if you're using your own money in the world of futures, because they do move quickly, a whoops, that was dumb Could cost you all $3,000. It could cost you $1,500. But in this situation, it would only cost you the cost of the account. Does that all make sense, Sultan? And anybody else, please ask questions if you have it. But this is why I'm a big advocate of for day trader. If you want to be a day trader, then my argument being summarized by Pam's Plant, is to trade futures through a prop firm. And I have yet to have anybody that can explain to me how this is not a good idea. Nobody has been able to actually refute how that's actually a bad idea. What prop firm is this? This is Take Profit Trader. That's the one that I use and I recommend. What's the minimum to sign up? Andrew, how are you still not in? I explained this to you multiple times. You are one stubborn bugger, aren't you, Andrew? Andrew just loves wasting his money away in the world of stocks, apparently. Come on, Andrew. What's it going to take? Right here, the minimum would be that you could get $25,000 in purchasing power for 105. As far as how long does it take to test, you can take as long as you want. I would recommend getting it done within a month because every month you will be charged again. And a month is plenty of time. You may say, "What? Wait a second, Clay. I've never made $1,500 in a month before." With futures, they move quickly. So $1,500 is well within reason within a month with futures. Yeah, he might be. He might be, Dan. What is the payout when you hit the $3,000 profit? No. When you hit the 3,000 here, that is you proving yourself as a trader. That's your payout is now you go to the pro account. This is all in a simulated environment. So there is, if you hit 3,000, there's not like there's actually $3,000 that you made. This is a simulator environment because they're testing you, right? These companies need to be profitable. So, but after you get to the pro accounts, then the payouts are in the pro, what you make, you get to keep 80% of, and then pro plus, you get to keep 90% of those gains. Oh, okay, Freedom, you are familiar with prop firms then. Yeah, this is Take Profit Trader. Like I said, this is who I recommend, and the main reason I recommend them over, Apex, for example. No, Apex is not a scam. They have a payout history. People use them. But what I like in my mind is Take Profit Trader, because a lot of prop firms, let's just say you get into the pro accounts or whatever they call them, you make $10,000. Most prop firms are like, well, yeah, you made $10,000, but we're not going to let you request that money whenever you want it. You got to wait a couple of weeks, and then you can only request, $2,000 or $3,000. Whereas Take Profit Trader is like, no. If you made $10,000, you can request the $10,000, and you can request it right away and in for whatever amount. So again, that doesn't make other prop firms scams with the way they do the payouts, but it does, I think, separate Take Profit Trader in a big way, where you can request payouts every single day if you want for any amount you want every single day. And yeah, maybe they're a little bit more, they cost a little bit more up front, but from the back end flexibility, I think it's well worth it. No, getting them out of there. We're not going to turn this into a come spam the top or prop firm that you use. So Crypto Plumber, I've heard the exact opposite of that one, but I'm not here to badmouth. I don't want to talk about those ones. CJ Mack and Andrew went silent. This happened to me, traded NQ, and the price action was crazy. Hit the 2K loss limit, reset the account for 100, and now halfway through the test phase. $12 a month for market data. No, CJ, that's, at least I'm assuming you're using Take Profit Trader, but the market data is included in this price right here. You do not need to pay extra for market data. Unless you're paying for something extra because there's some sort of extra data that you're wanting to pay for. When you pass, you still pay the $119. Salted, no. Nope. This fee goes away. And part of the promotion also, most prop firms, including Take Profit Trader, they have an activation fee. So, for example, And again, this is not unique to them, but you pass here, and then in order to make that leap right there, prop firms will charge you an activation fee, and normally with Take Profit Trader, it's $130. So $130 to go from your test to your pro. But part of the deal right now is not only 30% off, but you don't have to pay this. So it's actually a super, super good deal right now. And again, that's not unique to Take Profit. All the prop firms do some sort of activation fee and stuff like that. So as part of the current deal right now, like I said, not only are you getting, and if you want the current deal, use that link. And it's also, yes, that's an affiliate link. Yes, I will get a little bit of a kickback. But that is a way if you want, like, no, Clay, I don't want to do a super chat, but I do want to support the channel. That's a way you can support the channel. But like I said, not only do you get the 30% off, you don't have to pay that activation fee. But yeah, after you get into the pro accounts, at least with Take Profit Trader, I'm not speaking to other prop firms. I don't know how they do it. But with Take Profit Trader, there is no more monthly fee, which makes it awesome. Because like I said, you go back and you could, in theory, you could be all in with only $119. And then you could go make $10,000 in the pro account. And let's say you make $10,000. Remember, you only get to keep 80%. So then you get 8K. So literally you spent $119 to make $8,000. Now remember, I'm not making that seem like, oh yeah, and that's what's going to automatically happen. I'm just saying, in theory, I'm trying to back up the whole idea of Pam's plant and why prop firms are so powerful, because you have so much risk control based off the fact of you have so little of your money on the line. So that in of itself is a massive risk control mechanism where if you're using your own money, poof. And I've been there many times with stocks and options. It's like, whoa, that was dumb. Oh, wow, that just cost me thousands of dollars. I mean, do we have, let's see. Yeah, like this right here. So this was, I don't even remember anything about it, but something happened on this one and $3,200 gone. Now, if this was a prop firm, yes, I would have failed the test. Yes, I would have lost the account, but I would not have lost $3,200. In this situation, I don't remember what it was, but I was trading with my own money. $3,200 gone. So, I mean, that's the whole idea right here. Protect your own money, part of it. Very, very important part. Good questions, though. And I don't even know, how do we get on this topic? Oh, Sultan was asking about how do you grow a smaller account quickest? I had 100 PA accounts and blew every one of them without making a dime. So futures is definitely not for me. No, Corbin, that's not a futures problem. That's a you problem. That's a you not managing risk problem. Don't blame futures for that. Because if you behave that way in stocks or options or anything else, you're gonna lose those too. So you are blaming the wrong thing, my friend. To speak bluntly to you, what's not for you is your lack of emotional control and risk management. Because every single thing will do that. Like I said, I got roasted here. What was this stock? What was this? Let's see. Let me figure this out. Oh, it was both. It was stocks and options. Was this stock and options fault that I lost $3,200? No, it was my fault. It was my fault. It was my lack of discipline. It was my lack of self-control. So don't blame futures. Futures is not the problem there, Corbin. Yeah, Freedom, you should try. You should give Take Profit Trader a try. The end of day trailing drawdown just means that's how much money you're allowed to lose. So for example, let's say first day you make $500, you would think, oh, okay, so now I have $2,500 that I can lose. But no, this is trailing you. So it's always going to be $2,000. So now once you get into the pro accounts, you can start to build buffers and you can make this number higher in the pro accounts, but during the test account, it's always going to be $2,000. Now, let's say you lose $500. The next day, you'd only have $1,500 that you could lose. But if you were to make, $1,000 your first day, you don't enter in with the next day with $3,000 that you're allowed to lose. It would still be $2,000 because it is trailing you. It is coming up with you, which is good because they're keeping you disciplined. Now, again, once you get to the pro accounts, after you prove yourself, then yes, you can start to build cushions and you can make that number. You could be in a situation, in theory, where you could lose $10,000 on a trade, and they would not take your account away from you because you built up such a buffer. But In the test phase, there is no building of a buffer. Just be disciplined. Watch your backside. Manage that risk. You can trade 5. You can trade up to 5. But the other thing that we've discovered in the chat room is the nice thing about Take Profit Trader is you can only have 5 accounts to copy trade, but you can go and pass more accounts, and then you can just kind of store them. Now, other people will you have to pay every month to store past accounts. Even though you can't use them, to just have them on hand, you're still having to pay. But with Take Profit Trader, you don't have to pay to store accounts. You can just let them sit there, and that way, if a pro account gets blown up, you can just quickly activate the new one, and you're good to go. But those accounts that you have passed that are just kind of laying in wait, you do not have to pay any extra charges for those. I used to watch you trade daily with your live trading. Stressful, but you did great. Yeah, no, I can see how that'd be stressful. Like for people that are like, man, this would stress me out. It's like, well, no kidding, you would stress it because you don't understand my strategy. Like the people that think they understand my strategy by watching one of my live trade videos, it's like you're making so many, you're jumping to so many conclusions. So yeah, I can see how it'd be stressful. I would find things stressful that I don't understand either. That's a normal, I would say, situation. Nice, up to 62 likes. Again, if you are enjoying this, hit that like button. If you do have a request, I'm taking a request. Somehow we got on the side trail. Oh yeah, Salt, and somebody asked, hey, how do I grow a $3,000 account? So that's where this turned into kind of a strategy video. And now a bunch of people are asking questions on it, which I think is good because people are intrigued by it. When you go to Pro Sim to Pro Plus, yeah, because once you get too good, they send you to live money, or else you'd bankrupt the company. Because if you're there, making $100,000 a day, you'll bankrupt the prop firm. That's why eventually in Pro Plus, they move you to live, which I love because it's actually a sustainable business model. They're saying, hey, you got to be trading live money now. That way the profits you're making are coming from the market itself. Thanks, Freedom. Thanks for swinging by. Correct, Philip. Oh, that's what Dan said. Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, that's why that's a really good deal. So Philip was like, wow, thanks. Because yes, he's clearly not new to prop firms, so he understands that prop firms have a situation where all prop firms are going to have a test evaluation combine. They all call them different things, but you got to do a test. You got to prove yourself before you move into, again, all of them have different names, but the one that I'm using, Pro Account. But this jump right here with Take Profit Trader usually costs $130, which is called an activation fee. But the current promo right now is not only 30% off, but there is no activation fee, which is a big value in and of itself. So yes, if you want to, like I said, get that deal, support the channel, then by all means, please use that link. It's a very simple way where you get something, but you're also helping to support the channel at the same time, support the stream. Good questions. I'm glad you asked. Apparently a lot of interest in this, which is good. And I would argue if you are looking to day trade and want to be a day trader, if you day trade stocks, options, crypto, or Forex, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your capital, you're not doing it efficiently because, like I said, Pam's Plant explains it all. Do we have any other requests, though? We'll go for a little bit while longer. We're at an hour and 23 minutes. If you are enjoying, though, hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button. Any requests for any more? And if you have any more questions on the kind of the strategy we just talked about, we'll talk about Pam's Plant strategy. If you have any more questions on Pam's Plant strategy, let me know. I know it's a mind-boggling thing. As somebody that grew up without this, I'm quite jealous. And as somebody that pushed it, well, I try not to be too hard on myself because I think I was right to be skeptical of prop firms for a while. I was probably skeptical for too long, but plenty of members in the community were like, I'll be a guinea pig. I'll go try it. And people were getting paid. So I was probably skeptical for maybe too long in that regard. But yeah, at this point, MSTR would be happy to do that, Dan. It's just that's that Mike. What is it? The guy that just goes all in Bitcoin, right? Yeah, MSTR. Oh, see, now this one did people dirty. Because this one got people's hopes up by actually getting up above that 50 period moving average. So that's cruel. A lot of these we were looking at, they were polite in the sense of they just never built any false hope by breaking key levels. No, it also, to be fair, it depends on strategy. I mean, if you're a scalper and you play this from here up to there, that was plenty of wiggle room for a scalper to make money. But if you're some sort of swing trader or maybe a longer term day trader and you're looking for bigger moves, yeah, this was a dirty move for sure. Broke out and then totally just flushed back in the downwards direction. I mean, it even teased in the sense of, hey, look, we're back testing the purple line. Hey, look, we're respecting it as support. So before today, so you have that as a resistance. We'll use that as their bottom part. You have that nice upwards move there. You had actually a nice little bull pennant pattern. Golf hole down there for you golfers. So there you go. There's a nice little bull pennant. So that's what I mean by this thing just doing people dirty. Just and then boom. So yeah, that's the daily. Rough move for there for sure. What's on the 30-minute? 30-minute looks like it could be getting even rougher. I'm still going to consider this within the range of the pink line there. But yeah, this last 30 minutes, not the greatest as more separation is coming to the downside. Because until that candle, I mean, it wasn't looking terrible as far as respecting that. I mean, it was doing a good job. Try to separate, bounce back up. Try to separate to the downside, bounce back up. But now this one closed near the lows. But like I said, I'm still not going to totally consider that 200 period broken. But if it is, again, if you have a request, drop it in the chat box. If you have a question about either Pam's plant or just question about anything in general, by all means, please ask away. Yeah, really, if this pink line here does not hold up, doesn't seem, as I go back here, yeah, it doesn't really seem as though any sort of major area of support until down around the 278 mark. That's if this level ultimately fails. It's hanging in there, I think, because it's still close enough to these lows for me to call it, to me to say that it's holding strong. And yeah, 5 minute, we have the 50 period that's just being quite stubborn. Yeah, MSTR, that was a doozy. That was rough. What did it? The other, I don't think Nvidia or anything like that did it. No, Nvidia never broke above things. AVGO. I know it's not quite in the same. Yeah, that was rough. Oh, MSTR this is a dividend. Really? What's the one where the guy Michael Saylor? What's that one? What's the ticker symbol for that? That's what I thought I was looking at. Is that MU? No, that's Micron. What's the Michael Saylor guy that's all in Bitcoin? What company is that? MSTR. Isn't that what we were just looking at? Yeah, MSTR, right? That's what I thought, Crypto Plumber. But I don't know. MSTR pays a dividend? I didn't know it was an ETF. I thought it was a stock. I definitely could be wrong though. Yeah, I don't know. Any final requests? I'll go for a little bit while longer if we have. It doesn't pay a dividend? Maybe Dan was referring to something else then. So Sultan, what do you think about Pam's plant? Are you gonna go that route? Any other requests? Any other requests? Again, if you have not yet and you've enjoyed the live stream, make sure you hit that like button. I would say that I think I would consider this a success. Not too bad for a Saturday morning. I think our peak concurrence at one time we had like 60 people. I don't know. Maybe that's actually really terrible. I just don't have enough data to know. But it seems like it's respectable on a Saturday morning. MSTY pays the dividend. Are you going to go that route, Sultan? MSTY pays the dividend. Oh yeah, that chart is like a mimic of MSTR. Okay, all right. So crypto is correct. Maybe did you? I think Corbin's got your back, Dan. I think did you mean MSTY? What's the dividend on that? MSTY. Whoops. MSTY dividend. No, that can't be right. What is this? What am I looking at here? This can't. MSTY dividend of 81%. I mean, those are some big dividends. Yes, I'm going to go that route. Awesome, Sultan. I'm totally biased here, but of the 3,000 you have, now that you're seeing you're going to need very little of it for trading, if you want to surround yourself with some really good traders, so yes, I'm totally in salesman mode, but I also, I know this would help you as somebody that's new, and just if you want to surround yourself with people that are doing Pam's plant strategy, consider joining my community right there. So there's no trolls. It's not free, but by being not free, it's amazing what it does to keep out the trolls and the drama and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, but is this real? Does that really pay 81%? Like, how is that even sustainable? What? Like, what's the catch? All right, well, they're doing options, so I guess that makes sense for some of it, but goodness. Do you own some of this, Dan? MSTY? That is bonkers. Yes, real, but NAV always goes down. Oh, gotcha. So it's kind of like well, let's look at the chart on this thing. When did this thing start? Well, NAV's going down, but this thing's still up, or is this? The weekly. I mean, it is still. So, I mean, if you were to bought when it first started, I mean, you're still up a whole lot, or maybe I'm missing something here. I don't know. MSTY though. I'll have to. Maybe I'll pick up a little just because. It's one to research, too complicated to explain. And this one, yeah, no, that's fine, Dan. Yeah, I hear you. All right, well, I'm not seeing any other requests, so I think we'll just call this good. Let me go into salesman mode a little bit more. I am doing a webinar this Thursday, so if you want to learn more about the tools I'm using to build consistency, manage risk, you can sign up for the free webinar right there. And again, if you want to do the Pam's Plant strategy of trading futures through a prop firm, and you want to support the channel, get to all the promos and all that sort of stuff, use that secondary link right there. That will take you and, like I said, give you the discounts and allow you to support the channel, as that is a referral link. But yeah, well, thank you everybody for being here, and for those of you that hit the like button, appreciate it. For the super chats, thank you very much. And again, if you did enjoy, even if you're watching this in the archives, make sure you hit that like. Who built your PC? Oh yeah. Right here. Very, very happy with them as somebody that's not tech savvy. And my favorite part about this story is I originally did a... So yeah, I'll just, since you brought it up, I did this blog way back when. Way back when. Let's see. Rip off. So right here. Did this years ago. And then the owner of that company reached out and was like, hey, so you can see the title of it. Hey, I hear he was super nice, but he's like, I'd like to put my money on, let me build you one and let's see if I can change your mind. I was like, I mean, I'm open to it. Like if you can build me something that's super nice and super fast as somebody that doesn't know what I'm doing, I'm open for it. So he built me one and he was like, and now, so what do you think? Do you want to set up an affiliate? And I was like, no, we don't have to set up an affiliate. I'll gladly talk about it for free. So this link right here is for, like I said, use this link. Oh, I already, yeah. Anyways. I don't know. You'd have to ask. I don't know if they do Apple or not, but I would say this. My computer they built for me is not Apple, but it is nice. It is very fast. It is very quiet. And it is well worth it. And again, even if you're not interested in getting a computer, this guide here was just helpful anyways. So just from a trading computers guide overall, and I read the guide, I found it helpful. I was like, yeah, no, I'll talk about it and I'll refer to it. So no, I'm not getting paid. There's no kickback here by me talking about this. It's just me saying, yeah, the guy changed my mind. Like it was very beneficial. The customer service has been very nice. There's been a couple of hiccups that we're not the company's fault, but one was my internet provider's fault, but they were always very responsive and stuff like that. So yeah. So thank you for asking, Emmy. That is that I'd sign up for that guide, and plus you can just go to Easy Trading Computers is the name of the company itself, but that'll all be part of the guide. So yeah, thank you for asking that. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for hanging out. Again, hit that like button if you found this helpful, and if you do have any questions, as always, you can reach out to me through email, clay@claytrader.com. But have a great weekend. Get outside, enjoy the nice weather, do some studying, use your time wisely. But there's no shame in relaxing. So everybody